All right, ladies and gentlemen, a new face coming to Cage Fury on December 15th, CFFC 128. You might recognize him from The Ultimate Fighter, Carlos Vera. Carlos, how we doing, man?
Cheers, brother. Good morning. I'm doing great. I'm really excited to get back into the cage, into the ring. Uh, I train nonstop, man. So all year round, and I'm ready to get back in there and against a worthy adversary. And I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about, a lot I'm excited to get into. But first off, haven't seen you fight since The Ultimate Fighter. So I guess in short, what you been up to?
Um, so after the Ultimate Fighter, the biggest thing was just fixing a few of the holes that I had in the game. I fought Brad Katona, who ended up being the season winner. I did fairly well. There's a few holes that he capitalized on, and he also played a very smart game. He's a very smart fighter.
Yep.
So we've been just on the grind, fixing up those holes, filling those holes. And not to mention, I've been to Ireland a few times to train with Brad Katona himself.
Yep.
And the SBG team, just to once I lose to somebody, man, I become relentless in understanding how to get better and fix those aspects of my game. So it's not necessarily personal. If I lose, okay, I lose. I don't care. I gathered some data, I gathered some knowledge, and let's patch that hole up and let's keep going. So I've just been traveling and training, and just getting better, man. It's really nothing else except for that. That's all my life consists of.
And before I ask you more about TUF, I will ask you about camp because, like you just said, I saw that you're at SBG over in Ireland and you're training with Brad Katona, who was your fight on TUF. So how's that been? How's Ireland been working with Kavanaugh and those guys? Has McGregor been there too?
McGregor was there the first trip. He wasn't there the second trip. He's hopefully he's got some stuff on the horizon as well. But yeah, I've trained a lot with Kavanaugh and with Owen Roddy. And then yeah, just Lee Hammond, who was on the show, Brad Katona, who was on the show, and then just a plethora of PFL and Bellator guys, and some UFC guys. And to be honest with you, it's just been fantastic over there in at SBG in Ireland. That was a lot of live work, a lot of hard rounds. I had a few mock fights there. And then obviously here at 50-50 back at home, I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm based out of here right now under Ryan Hall. A lot of specific training in specific areas of the game on the ground and stand up that it's just constant daily chipping away, man. That's all it is. That I don't have a interesting life. It's like, hey, what'd you do today? Well, same thing I did yesterday. I woke up, trained to try to get better at this, try to get better at that, try to get better at that. Taught a few classes and did it again at night, So it's super basic, but yeah, that's what I've been up to since the show.
Well, and you said you're a 50-50 home base, but Instagram has been telling me you've kind of been a nomad this camp. You've been all over the place. So like, if you can, off the top of your head, what other gyms you've been training with? Who you've been working with?
I do train. I travel quite a bit. So I mean, especially 50-50 martial arts. It's an overall martial arts gym. We do have striking, wrestling, judo, jiu-jitsu with the highest level of teachers that we have there. We have Olympians for judo and wrestling and etc. But that is, like I said, specific training in each one. When I do have a fight coming up, I like to test myself against other MMA, pro MMA guys. So, I do go to some pro MMA places in the area of the DMV, which, consists of Kaizen MMA. I go to Baltimore. In Baltimore, I go to Ground Control that has Jesse Stern. He just fought in PFL. He just won. So I go to these other places as well. Originally I grew up in New Orleans. So when I'm down in New Orleans, I'm at my home base gym in New Orleans, which is Mid City MMA. I train with guys like Ton Lee and Vin Lee. He's the ONE FC champ or interim champ right now. So yeah, I train quite a bit, man. I go all over the place. Home base 50-50, and then when it goes time to kind of test my skills and make sure that the stuff that I'm doing is working and sharp, I definitely go visit other places to just test myself out.
And then out of all the gyms, I assume it's going to be some 50-50 guys, but who's going to be coming with you to be in your corner?
The same base that I have. So obviously Ryan Hall, Frank Rosenthal's my roommate, training partner, buddy. coach as well. He got his black belt under John Danaher, and then he moved out here. So he's been with us for a little bit now. So Frank Rosenthal and Tom Lee. So those three guys are going to be my corners. It's going to be a good corner. So they all understand my game, and we're going to be doing some work. So
Awesome. Well, I'll certainly be at the fight, so I'm excited to meet the four of you guys before it all goes down, or I guess after it all goes down. Hopefully, I'm doing
cool.
some interviews backstage. And before we get into the fight, I do want to ask a little bit about TUF.
Cool.
I guess the basic question: how was the experience overall? Like, any regrets? Would you do it again? What were your thoughts?
I would definitely do it again. It wasn't the easiest initially. You know, I mean, you are away from your family. You have no contact with the outside world. No phone, no music. That's a hard one, man. We can't even listen to music. You can't read a book. You know, I got a Bible and the Quran, and I would read those. You know, learn a little bit more, read a little bit more. That's about it. Besides that, you know, you're kind of forced into this small space with 16 fighters, and depending on the day, some may be moody, some may not. Some are cutting weight, some are not. Some are angry, they just lost. Some are happy. It just depends, man. It was a wild experience. I'm very grateful to have gone through it. I learned a lot. I made some amazing connections with the coaching staff, obviously the McGregor team, and with you know, the guys on the team, on both teams actually. And yeah, man, it was a cool experience fighting at the Apex. Being under those bright lights, having big names, and you know, the big wigs of MMA sitting there watching you. It was cool to experience that, you know, and it was I never felt like I was outclassed, and I didn't feel like I was out of, you know, or anyone was out of my league. So it actually was a great learning experience tool, and I'm just ready to get back in there and do it again.
And then I guess I'm also wondering, what's McGregor like, you know, in person, up close? Like, how was that experience?
Man, Conor McGregor was nothing but a gentleman. You know, the people, you know, I'm sure there's a camera component to it where, you know, he knows how to turn it on, dude. He knows how to bring a crowd. He knows how to turn it on, and he's got that spark of a personality that it just attracts people. He's very passionate in what he does. But when he was teaching, when he was coaching, he was all in. He was invested in his fighters. It didn't matter if I, like in my case, I fought Katona, and Katona's part of the SBG team, and they have the same management. And you know, he never once favored someone who wasn't on his team. He favored me, and he tried to help me win. You know, but he was never an asshole about it with you know, the other team as well. Like I said, he was nothing but a gentleman, and he bestowed a lot of wisdom upon me as well. So it was really cool to be alongside him and his team. John Kavanaugh, Owen Roddy, those guys were just awesome to work with and get to know.
And then, like, dude, just like being that close to, you know, Dana, Connor, the UFC vibe, aura, how hungry did that make you? Like, what did that do for your motivation?
Like I said, you know, I'm fighting these vets, you know, I'm training with these vets, and it's just not, I wasn't outclassed. They're good. Do not get me wrong. They're good, you know, and I know I belong. And if it's not in the UFC, I belong in the top tier. I'm excited to test myself to get there. That's what it is. You know, I feel I belong, but I have to pave the way. I have to show it. I have to demonstrate it. But being around them, it just makes you hungry. I was like, man, all my hard work paid off, and cool, I'm here. You know, it's just been a daily grind. I started MMA later in life. I was 24, 25, you know, so it took about 9, 10 years for me to get to where I got to with TUF. But dude, I'm just getting started, man. My body feels good. My skills have only sharpened. My mind is fortified. I'm ready to go, man. Yeah, it's definitely it definitely gave me the fire that I wanted. It fueled my fire even more.
Well, you got a chance to make a big statement on December 15th. You're taking on Vilson, who is no stranger to Cage Fury himself. So what are your thoughts on him overall?
Albanian, strong eagle. You know, I study my opponents. He's tough, man. He's coming to fight. I love it. He's patient. He's a heavy puncher. He's a wrestler. And he's a worthy opponent. He's a dangerous foe. So it's exactly what I like to see. So I want to be tested by the best. I don't want to fight no chump. And this is a great stage for it. CFFC is one of the biggest feeder organizations, the minor leagues, you can say whatever you want to call them, all over the United States. So, I came from Fury. That was kind of where I built my you could say my resume to get to TUF. But I'm excited to jump into CFFC. I would love like just fighting under their banner, building myself up here. This is closer to where I live. This is the up north. I'm excited, man. This is gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, man. Cage Fury is great. John Morgan, CM Punk, UFC Fight Pass. It's all the feels of a big promotion. But they say it's the regional. I don't know, man. It's a big promotion in my books. And a story about Vilson, I'm not sure if you're aware or not. It's not very public for whatever reason, but he did miss weight last fight by 8 pounds.
We all know.
Yeah.
We all know.
Is that a concern of yours at all?
Man, so it's funny. I saw it. I saw it, and then when I was studying his footage, I was like, wait, he's over by a lot. Okay, cool. I was like, all right. And then I saw his fight before that. He was over by not a lot, but he was over. He was over by like 2 pounds almost. Right. So it was funny. I didn't mention anything because I didn't want my coaches or anything to say anything, like maybe we shouldn't take the fight, even though I know they wouldn't. And then sure enough, one of my coaches, my roommate Frank, was like, dude, this dude missed weight by like 1,000,000 pounds the other day. Like he's basically weight class over. Like just be ready for that. Cool. And then sure enough, the other day Ryan comes up because we started studying footage. He's like, this guy's not gonna make weight. Like be ready. I was like, hey, I was ready to get a phone call at 145 for UFC. So I don't care what weight he is. Like I could fight 145, 135. My beginning amateur and pro career, I fought 155 sometimes.
Right.
So, it is what it is, man. I'm ready for what comes my way. I train hard and I train smart for a reason. And I think 35, 45, I think me and him are similarly built in a sense where we can easily fight both classes. So it doesn't really concern me too much.
Well,
I'm going to take some of his money. So if he doesn't make weight, I'm going to take some money. So that's about it.
Yeah, right. Take the purse, man. And I think you're going to be tall. Like he's not a super tall guy. He's like a Volkanovski type of build, So even if he comes in over, he's not going to be a gargantuan human being. But yeah, I don't know. Hope he can get that figured out because we like fights nice and square. And how do you look at this fight stylistically? Like, how do you think you guys are going to clash in there?
We both like to strike. We're both patient, and we both grapple if we need to grapple. So I'm not really sure how the fight's going to play out. I have a game plan in mind. I think we're going to strike more than anything. If he gets frustrated, I do see him trying to go to the ground, which we're working on that as well. But he seems to like to bang, bro. So he likes to throw those heavy right hooks, those heavy left hands, and so it's going to be fireworks for sure.
And then obviously Vilson was bantamweight champion of Cage Fury for a long time until the weight issues. Does a win here put you right into that title picture? Is that the goal? Sure.
I mean, to be honest with you, at this point, I'm just trying to fight the best and prove to myself and prove to my skills that just gather data. At this point in my career, man, whatever comes. I'm just trying to be the best fighter I can be. I'm just trying to be the best martial artist I can be. And I want the best opposition in front of me, in places where on a well-deserved platform, such as CFFC, right? I'm not trying to fight in a small show against a big name. No, but if you want me to fight a big name, cool. Put me in a good promotion, CFFC. They have Fury, LFA, those guys over there. I'm honored to fight for CFFC. This is awesome. You hear nothing but great things about CFFC. Living up here, especially. So, I'm ready to go.
And then, is this a one fight deal with Cage Fury? Are you going to be here for multiple fights?
For now, it's a one fight deal, but I can see myself staying here for if this goes well, I could definitely see myself staying here. So,
and then piggybacking off that. I mean, yeah, why not, man? Cage Fury is awesome. I love Cage Fury. But like 2024 is right around the corner. What are your goals for next year? I kind of feel like I know the answer, but this time next year, what would you have liked to have done?
You know, I want to fight as much as I can. I had a long layoff post TUF just because we were under contract. We couldn't fight for damn near 7 months. So it was a long time with no fight. And then when I could fight, I got turned down by a lot of people,
I bet.
a lot of people, you know, and then I went through the Fury roster. A lot of those guys didn't want to fight me. And I was like, man, it was just frustrating. I was like, come on, guys, you know? So the fact that Wilson's like, hey, let's go. I'm like, respect, let's do this, you know? And that you know, I can't think that far ahead at the moment, except for the fact that I just want to be able to fight the best and beat the best. And then whatever comes my way, comes my way. You know, I have faith that everything will, you know, unfold the way it's supposed to unfold.
And then pretty much last question for me. And it's just really going off of that still. UFC, obviously, end goal. You're already on TUF, obviously got a great taste of it, and you have all those connections now. But PFL, any interest, or is it kind of just I need to be in the UFC?
You know, like I said, where it unfolds, I think PFL has a fantastic future. I think it's starting off well. You know, it already has a fairly solid following, but it just purchased Bellator, which we knew was in the works.
Yeah.
So I think in the next, you know, 5 to 10 years, PFL is gonna be a fairly good competitor. But like I said, I'm open. You know, I'm a free agent right now. I'm open to fighting UFC. I'm open to fighting PFL. So it just depends, whatever comes my way. You know, me and my management, I'm with Sucker Punch, you know, they've treated me well. You know, we'll talk it through. And we'll see what you know, what materializes. So whatever comes my way, I'm gonna take it head on. And like I said, I'm a martial artist. I want to be able to fight the best, and I want to make sure that I get better each time I fight.
Well, it's cool that in 2023 you guys get the opportunity to say, you know, PFL, UFC, I'm enjoying fighting for Cage Fury. Like, you know, back in the day, 10 years ago, it was
Yeah,
UFC or nothing. So
right.
it's cool, man. It's cool that the landscape is changing. And Carlos, before I get you out of here, man, I do want to give you the opportunity. You already have a bunch of fans. A lot of people recognize the name on UFC Fight Pass and Cage Fury. Got a whole lot of new eyes coming your way. So that being said, anything you'd like to say to everyone? If so, the mic is yours.
Cool, man. The biggest thing I wanna say is, you know, I fight to represent my team 50-50, my family, you know, the DMV area, New Orleans, where I grew up, and of course Ecuador. I'm an Ecuadorian fighter. Manta, Ecuador is where I come from. And just represent the type of person I am. I don't care about the big lights. I don't care about all of that. I want to be the best fighter I can be. I want to fight against the best opposition I can fight. And Wilson is a great and dangerous opponent. And I look forward to stepping in the ring with him and testing my skills and creating art with the knowledge that I know. So good luck to him. We're coming. We're coming. Cheers.
Carlos, thank you so much for joining me. And ladies and gentlemen, don't blink. UFC Fight Pass, December 15th, CFFC 128. Carlos Vera enters Cage Fury. Thank you so much, my man. And kick some ass. I'll buy you a beer when I see you, yeah?
Hey, I'll hold you to that.
A lot of
All right,
fighters
bro.
hold me to that. I'm little enough. I won't give up a fight.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.